Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and we've got some breaking news. And you know it's important when I am on here in the middle of the evening at 5:30 because normally I save these videos for like 10 p.m., 10:30, and we just rock it out at night. But this is big news, and it's somewhat of a recurring theme. So I'm gonna get right into it. As you can see in the background of the screen, also hit the share button. Do that right now, because you're gonna get a lot of questions about this and some warnings and things of that nature. So, um, big news has happened about, as you can see, 9 minutes ago. Tesla announced they're doing a 5-for-1 stock split. I'm going to explain what that is and how I found out about this. This is why you want to, follow this page, as well as your investing apps and things of that nature, because I got an alert and I immediately came here to tell you guys, because Tesla has been one of the best performing stocks in the market over the last few years. I want to say like 3 years or so, but this is a huge deal, especially when you consider that Tesla is going to be added, or is suspected to be added, to the S&P 500 pretty soon. The S&P 500 is the 500 largest companies. They regularly churn out companies, put some in, take some out, just because of how they kind of fallen off the map, or have skyrocketed into this arena. Now, let me explain what a stock split is. A stock split is a cosmetic change. So what it is, how do you say, it changes. It's like changing the paint on the car. The car is the same. Whatever problems it had, it's still gonna have. Whatever good things it had, it's still gonna have, but it just looks a bit different. So as you see here, Tesla is about $1,300 a share. They're gonna do a 5-for-1 stock split. So essentially, you take the stock and divide it by 5. So you're gonna have 5 times more shares for the exact same amount of money. You are not going to make a whole lot of money or lose a whole lot of money when this stock split occurs. So do know that if you got Tesla now at 1374 and you wake up one day and it's at like 300 and something or whatever, that's fine. I think it depends on when they do it, but it's going to be around $300 to $400 a share. Now it is cosmetic, so if you have one share for 13, you'll now have 5 shares for 300 and some odd dollars, or however the math shakes out. So you're going to have more shares. When you combine those shares, you'd have the same amount as what you would have had for one share. It is, again, a cosmetic change. I can change my shirts all day. I'm still the same person. I'm still gonna weigh the same. I'm gonna still be the same height, right? So that's what that means. However, there's a psychological impact, because people like me and others who are wary of Elon Musk and the stock is too high, well, guess what? Now it's not going to be $1,700 a share anymore. Now it's not going to be $1,300 a share anymore. It's going to be around the 340 range, which now tells people psychologically, oh, I'm definitely going to buy the stock now. I have to buy it now because I've already seen it at 15 and 13 and 1400. It will go back there. That's what people think. Now, is that reality? Time will tell. Based on what we've seen, it probably will, based on what we've seen. Obviously, it's still COVID. Things are still crazy. There are things still out there. So it's not a, let me just go buy it now. You want to make sure that you do your research. And speaking of research, I do want to show you this here. We've got research. You guys know how we roll here. There are 2 separate studies in 1996 and 2003 that essentially confirm that, as you see here, once a stock split happens, a forward regular stock split that happens, it outperforms the stock market by 8%. And during the following years, it goes up by 12%. That's 12% higher than the market average. And Tesla's been well above that over the last few years. Anyway, they looked over 1,000 stocks, including a 2-for-1, 3-for-1, 4-for-1 stock split. So this kind of falls somewhere in there. So this is what we do know. One, Tesla's been one of the hottest stocks in the market over the last few years. 2, they're splitting their stock. They're doing a stock split, which makes the stock appear cheaper, which again tells people, oh, you should buy more. And then we have research saying that pretty much when forward regular stock splits happen, people tend to buy more. This also happened with Apple like last week, maybe a week and a half ago. So this is huge, huge news. And again, I wouldn't be yelling at you and throwing my arms everywhere if it were not a big deal. And I'm checking the comments in case you guys have any questions. So again, it happened with Apple not too long ago, and Apple has done it a few times in the past, and you've seen how Apple has ended up. Now, I'm not calling Tesla Apple. Tesla's still one of the hottest stocks out there. I still have my reservations, but at this point, and like I tell you guys, I I change my opinion and I update my opinion based on what the research tells us and based on what the facts are. And the facts have essentially changed here. Now, it will still be volatile. They will still have whatever problems they had. They will still have whatever upsides they have. But this is very, very, very big news. It has, my students know what's on the stock list there. That link is above, buildingbread.com/tool. So, they know whether or not how I really feel about Tesla. But, personally, I've been sticking out of it. It's hard to go against this research here. And if they are added to the S&P 500, which means they're going to be added to a ton of index funds. So you've got billions and billions of dollars waiting to snap up this stock. So it's hard pressed to stay out now. It is hard pressed to do it. If you could have gotten in years ago, clearly I would have been in even better time. But with this stock split, what we know Tesla has done in the past, and what we feel like could happen with the S&P, with adding into the S&P 500, this is huge, huge news. All right, so I'm gonna take just a few questions. We are still doing our regular show podcast, like regular video is what it is. We're still gonna do that tonight, right around 10. I'm checking the comments right now. If you guys have any, all right, let's see. Is this Tesla's first stock split? I believe so. Because this just happened like 10 minutes ago. I didn't get a chance to read the article. I just knew they're doing a stock split. Let's talk about it, and then maybe tonight we can make this the topic and really, really dig into it. But I'm not sure if they have. I think this is the very first one that they've done. I'm hearing conflicting information on how fractional shares are affected. I hear they cashed out fractional shares. Do you have any insight? So fractional shares are relatively new. So, I mean, even if I have like a half a share, 5 times a half, whatever that is. I was a math teacher, but I'm not doing math today. You can do the math there. So you're not, in theory, I wouldn't see why you would just be sold shares unless, you get cashed out unless you have, like 0.005 or something weird. I wouldn't imagine that happening, but, I'll have to do research there and double check for you. But like, if you got one share, you get a half a share, you should have 5 times that for a lower amount and still have the same amount of money overall. But again, don't quote me on that. We can research that and see, because again, fractional shares are relatively new when it comes to like buying individual fractional shares. I got excited. Look, I'm excited too. I am really excited. And y'all know I've been a Tesla critic. I think there was a video several weeks ago where I say, well, I will never buy Tesla. Well, I'm not going to be a fool forever. But also, like, again, y'all have, my concerns are still my concerns. It's still Elon Musk. That is still a risk. You can see the stock was down 3% today. It will likely really shoot up over the next several weeks and several months. But again, there are still risks to it. I still feel the way I feel about it. We will see if I personally jump into it. If I do, I'll let y'all know. But I mean, it's hard to ignore what we see right in front of us. And this stock split, and it could be all psychological, right? But this stock split is a very, very good signal, especially for what we expect to happen. All right, I tried purchasing with Schwab since they do fractional shares. It allows you to buy fractional shares with those that are not with. Oh, wow. Okay, so Schwab doesn't allow you to do fractional shares until the stock is in the S&P 500, which is not fun. So I would try Public. Public is one of my favorites. Fidelity should do it too. Now, I don't know every single company in the S&P 500, so there's that. But I'm pretty sure, I'm like 95% sure you should be able to get Tesla and whatever other stock you want. You guys can see all the stuff I invest in, but again, because I don't know all 500, I can't tell you that all the stocks I have there are in the S&P or not. Clearly, the Apples, the Googles, the Amazons, we know those are. But the other ones, Domino's Pizza, I would assume they're one because I've heard of it. But I have some lesser known companies that are there too. So feel free to check and see if you can get it on Public. That may be one option for you. Yeah, Charles Schwab told me if I have 0.832 shares of Apple when they do the split, then it'll be 3.3 shares. So I will get additional. Okay, that makes sense. Can I purchase on Robinhood? Yes, you should be able to. Do you recommend Robinhood to get started? So I'm not a big fan of Robinhood. I've just heard. I don't personally have Robinhood. I have heard a lot of complaints about Robinhood not transacting orders, freezing at times. There was a big glitch back in March, or two glitches they had in March because of like the leap year thing. So I'm not a big fan of Robinhood. That's just me in my view and from the people that I see. My favorites, like I've said, Public is one of my favorites. Fidelity is where the vast majority of my money is because I can do so many things at Fidelity, including fractional shares. In third place, TD is okay. It can be a little confusing at times. TD is out there. I hear Ally is good. I don't have Ally, but those are the ones that come to mind first. Charles Schwab is another good one, but they're limited on the fractional share side. But in my mind, first comes Fidelity, then Public, then maybe a TD or something like that after that. All right, a few more questions, and then we'll head off, and then we'll be back at 10. This I had a topic in mind, and then this came out, and I just threw it out the window. I was like, let's just do this now. All right, so thank you for the Charles Schwab tip there. Would you buy before or after? So that's a good question. That's a very good question. So personally, if I were to buy, and I'm really gonna make this decision for myself tonight, if you were to buy in a normal situation, it doesn't really matter whether you do it now or before the split, because the reason why I'm saying this is because you're not gonna, if you get one share now for 1,300, you'll get four, and you're still gonna have like a right around 1,300. You're not gonna get a super benefit. However, because we know that the shares tend to go up after they do the split, and we know that could be as the S&P 500 in the near future. My thing is, I would want to get in before they get added to the S&P 500. That is my big thing. If you believe in Tesla, and if you think this is a quality company, it would probably behoove you to get in before they are announced and added to the S&P 500. That's what I'm not overly concerned about getting it before today or tomorrow and then after the split. I don't think that's the big thing. It's if I can get in, can I get in before they get added to the S&P 500? That's going to be where the real money is. So if I decide tonight between now and 10, next 5 hours, that I'm gonna bite the bullet and go ahead and get Tesla, like I would get what I can tomorrow. Um, but that's just because I want to get in before they get to the S&P 500. But here, according to the research, since 96 and 2003, there is a benefit of getting in right around the split time. Ally is good, but doesn't let you do fractional shares. All right, thank you for letting me know. I can only have but so many apps at a time. TD, actually, speaking of that, TD does not let you do fractional shares either. I tried. So back to Fidelity it is, and back to Public. I like Fidelity because I can have so many different accounts, joint accounts with my kids, or my kids has his own account, joint account with the wife, stuff like that. Public is just the money I got on the side, and I can invest in fractional shares and pretty much what I want to do. So yes, thank you for that correction. I really appreciate that. Um, yeah, it's the S&P 500. Like, here's y'all gotta realize like how this investing works. Like me and you, all of us here, we invest in the stock market, and we move the market a little bit, but like we only got but so much money. It's when the Vanguards, the Charles Schwabs, the Fidelities, when they start to buy stocks, and when they have to buy it if they have the index fund. So that's when we're talking billions, really trillions of dollars at a time that are going into a stock like Tesla or whoever else is coming in of and out of the S&P 500. It's also when you see like a Macy's, maybe a Ford, a JC Penney's, when they leave the S&P 500, they just really fall off the map because you had trillions and trillions of dollars that are easily like, look, we're selling it because we have to, because you're not in the S&P 500, and our fund does exactly that. So you got to pay attention to things like that. I want to, as I'm rambling here, I want to show y'all this VTSMX. So this is the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund, and again, this one it actually owns the entire stock market. So this is an example. It's not the exact thing I really want to show you. Let me see if I can do this. SPY. So this is, here we go. So this is the S&P 500 ETF, and I think I want to go to profile just to give you an idea. And this one is, I forget who runs this one. So it's run by State Street, and it has $274 billion. And this is one ETF. And no, the whole 274 is not going to go into Tesla. But essentially, if they are added, they're going to have to take some of this $274 billion, and they have to invest it in Tesla. And every other S&P 500 index fund has to do the exact same thing. So if it's let's see, VOO, I think it's Vanguard's, and we talked about ETFs and all kind of stuff. We can get into that tonight or at a later date. Go to profile. We saw one was 274 billion. This one is 533 billion dollars, and it's going to be 1% or whatever the percentage is. You can kind of see here, or it probably be on another page. Whatever percentage, but they 1% out of $500 billion is a lot, and you got tons of these S&P 500 indices or index funds. So each one of them, the minute they're added, all of these funds have to buy. It's really hard for that price not to go up. So that's what I'm looking at. So you have the stock split, which we know, based on research, tends to move it up. Then you have the psychological effect. It's like, oh, look, it's not 1,700 anymore. Maybe I can afford it now. Maybe now I should buy. So you got the psychological aspect, and then you got the specter of them being added to the S&P 500, which is going to boost them. They also, and we covered this in the past, they had their first full year of profits, which is huge for them. So, I mean, it's all gravy is what it looks like right now. So, like I said, my opinions change as the facts change. So we'll see where it goes. All right, do index funds do stock splits? Not to my knowledge. Now, they do have the effect of it. So like if this fund owned Tesla already, then it would get the benefit of that. I'm not sure. I've not known of an index fund to do a stock split, but I could be completely wrong. That is a good question. I will try and find that out for you. All right, let's see. Estimate of when they're going to be added to the S&P 500. That's a good question. I forgot when the date was or when the date was supposed to be. I don't know if it's monthly or quarterly or what have you. We did do a video covering it, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned the date then, but it escapes me right now. Part of the things I'm going to do as I'm researching this. All right, just thinking the other day because Apple, yeah, okay. All right, so it looks like the majority of those questions. So again, I'm really excited because this is crazy news. I mean, now if I saw this coming, then it's pretty much illegal because you're not supposed to know in advance unless you like work there, and you're also not supposed to trade on that. But I am really excited. This is huge news. I mean, we already know what Tesla was as a stock, and this is really going to continue to push it forward. All right, so that's it for me. I am going to go figure out what I'm going to do for dinner, as well as what I'm going to do with this stock as well. All right, I will talk to y'all later. Bye.